Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rocktalkamerica. I've been looking forward to this interview with my friend here, Riley. I know that there's been a few of you that have been interacting with the channel and commenting and also some likes and a lot of subscriptions, which I'm really grateful for, and obviously looking forward to bringing you a lot more. So this is my good mate Riley. Riley, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rocky.
Cheers, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can torture him for a few minutes, eh?
Yeah.
So Riley, you're born and bred Utah?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. My house now is about 20 miles from where I grew up.
Oh, really?
And I really never ventured too far.
No, well, geez, that's lovely to have that sort of connection to a place. You know, obviously you're born here, you grew up here. Have you been outside of Utah?
Yes, I've traveled in all of the surrounding states.
Right.
Did Florida.
Oh, really?
North Carolina's.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. As far as that.
East I've gone.
Have you seen the Northeast?
No, I haven't.
Well, I have a little bit of it, but I've heard lots of beautiful things up in that far northeast corner of New England and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll get a chance to see it. You never know. But it's and growing up in Utah. I mean, like, you don't have to see too much. You don't have to see too much more of America, mate. This is a bloody beautiful state.
Yes,
It's stunning.
I believe that's why we haven't ventured too far, because we have so many different landscapes, so many things to do.
But you grew up here.
Correct.
So I presume you did all the outdoor stuff and everything else. Yeah.
Yes, and I don't feel that we've touched half of what Utah has to offer.
Yeah. But I know about the South. I mean, like, you know, obviously Sand Hollows all the way out through to Moab and everything else down sort of Hurricane, St. George Way. But I wanted to ask you something specific. Like, I know that fishing is a big thing here in Utah, freshwater fishing off the lakes and so forth.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of lakes. Well, we have lakes in Western Australia, but where I come from. But we don't have a great lake fishing sort of culture, if you wish. You guys do a lot of that here.
Yes, we do.
Have you been?
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about that.
I don't know a specific number of how many lakes are in Utah, but they're really everywhere.
Yeah.
Fly fishing is very popular right off the river.
I know they do. I know they do a bit of in on the East Coast, and I know they do a lot of it in New Zealand. So that would probably tie in a bit more. But Western Australia, we go for bigger things like grey white sharks.
We don't have any.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
we don't protect too much.
Yeah.
But So, is there a favourite lake?
So my family has some property in the Uinta Mountains, east of here, and there's a bunch of little lakes up there. You can go catch trout. Mirror Lake is the one that comes to mind. There's Whitney Lake. Most of my fishing I've ever done is there.
Is that area.
And you may catch a 12-inch fish.
Well, that brings me to another point. What fish do you have in these lakes? I mean, is there quite a bit?
Yeah, really no. There's trout, and there's all the species of trout.
All different types of like rainbow trouts and so forth.
Correct, brown trout, and that would probably be the most common. Smallmouth bass. That's right. Pretty fun. Those are
right. Bass is another one.
Yeah, they're really not a big fish, but when you catch a bass in Utah, you're kind of excited, and give you a little bit of a fight.
Oh yeah, okay. So they're a bit of a kick, are they?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and then there's a lake called Flaming Gorge, and there's like a walleye pike and stuff there. Yeah. So those are probably our biggest fish in Utah. I'm not an active fisherman. More opportunity for camping or something like that. We'll have the fishing poles.
Mate, so I mean, once again, being completely no idea about lake fishing, do you guys go out on a little boat, or do you do it from the shore, or what do you do it in a creek? What's the go?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So, all three, I guess. For us, we have a little fishing boat, a little 14-foot aluminum boat.
Okay.
We'll take that.
What we
out.
call a dinghy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a little bit bigger than a John boat.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I said okay, but I don't know what that means. But anyway,
just
yeah. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, an alley dinghy, yeah, which is what we call it.
I believe it's 17 feet, and
Right.
you have to be careful on some of our bigger lakes. Like
Little outboat, sort of, to get out there, or do you row? Or what?
it's a 50 horsepower
Oh, right,
engine
okay.
that it has.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful. If a storm comes in, it
Ah.
will swallow that boat up, and you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are susceptible to changing weather up here in the mountains quite a bit. Yeah, that's true. Okay, and then outdoorsy stuff. Camping is big. Hunting is big. Have you ever hunted yourself? Have you ever hunted yourself?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. I've harvested one elk in my lifetime. I've never
Right.
harvested a deer.
Right.
My favorite type of hunting, mostly for convenience, is coyote hunting.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. Just there's really it's open season.
Right. Right. Oh, is that all year round?
Correct.
And
Yep.
because them being a bit of a agricultural pest.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And I don't know about right now.
Right.
But typically there's a bounty on them.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we'll do that in western Utah, and then we'll also go to Nevada for that.
Right.
Just maybe for a weekend.
It's not recreational for us down there in Australia so much because obviously we've got quite tight gun rules and so forth. But there's a lot of people that actually, well, not a lot, but there's a handful of people that actually are what they call professional roo shooters, and they go out and they cull kangaroos mainly because of the agricultural problems that they cause, destroying fences and things like that. And they
Roo
do get
shooters.
roo shooters, yeah, they're professional roo shooters, and so they get money for what they do. I don't know how much per tail or whatever they call themselves. How they unitize it. But but here, how do you actually declare to the authorities, I've got 4 coyotes or whatever, coyotes, or you just take them down in the back of your truck and just show them, or what?
Correct. Yeah, there's
okay.
a few offices that you turn in certain parts of the animal's ear.
Okay.
Tail.
That's how they tag them off and so forth.
Correct, and the regulations change periodically.
Right,
I think to stop maybe.
Right. So in Sweden, I have some friends up there that hunt elk and they also hunt bear. Actually,
Okay.
do you guys have a bear season here, or are they protected species? What's the go with that?
You can get a bear tag, and in general, almost there's a lot of avid hunters
Right.
in Utah, and I would consider myself on the lower spectrum.
Right.
I love it, but typically what we do around January or like through March, we can start applying for hunting permits.
Right.
And then it's a drawing system. You accumulate so many points, and when you draw that tag, you can go hunt whatever region you were applying for.
So it's very regulated. And,
Correct.
And it's mainly done so that the species gets to rejuvenate and
Correct.
top up. Yeah. Okay. Longevity.
Yes. And what it's become is there's areas that are limited entry and then general season. So you'll have better animals
Right.
typically in your limited entry.
Right.
You may draw those tags I've never drawn one, every 10 to 20 years. A lot of times they'll call them once in a lifetime tags because you just know that it's going to take a long time.
Okay, so it is by chance.
Correct, yeah.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
There's also the general season to where you can go get a cow tag.
Right.
And then there's a general season for deer, and those are going in. You have a much better chance of getting those tags. And you could almost get a spike tag every year for elk.
So they shoot the elk. Pardon, I mean I've never deer hunted before, but they actually eat the meat and use the skins and everything else. I mean nothing goes, not too much goes to waste.
Yes, and there's laws that you have to take as much meat as you possibly can.
Right. Well, that's great. That's great.
You have your group of people that are trophy hunting
Right,
more or
yeah,
less that don't take the meat.
Right. Yeah.
I love the meat.
Yep.
If it's an older animal, a lot of times it'll be turned into jerky or burger.
Right. Yep.
Like an older elk. I love elk meat, but if you get this trophy bull, you got to be a good cook. It might not taste great. So,
No, I get what you mean, and I understand. But the hunting culture in America is huge, and it's been going for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys your whole pioneer days, the whole bloody country was sort of built on it. I mean, all the way back to the buffalo and the Indians and so forth, or natives. I don't know what you call them these days, but anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry if I. But hey, listen. On to other things. When you guys go camping out there in the sticks, mate, what's to stop a bear or a cougar or something coming through your tent? I mean, you know, I've heard of stories, particularly out of California, where people get done with bears. And that's some pretty scary stuff. I mean, I don't mind seeing an elk, maybe with the big spikes and so forth, but you go, hey, shoot, and hopefully it takes off. I doubt it, but I can't think a bear or a cougar is going to do that.
Yes, we do more what people call glamping. So we have a camp trailer.
Well, say no more. No, good for you.
Yeah.
But that brings me on to the next subject, which I mean, I know that. Well, you're a very successful young man. I mean, you're in the prime of your life. You have your own business. I mean, have a look at this beast behind us. It's wild. And you know, obviously, you work very hard to make. Tell us a bit more about what you do and how long you've been doing it.
Overall, I've been self-employed for
in your business.
Almost my whole working life. My first job was assembling bicycles in a bicycle shop.
Right. Because you went into trail bikes at one stage, didn't you?
This was like self-propelled pedal bike, right? Motorcycles was a different thing. That was a hobby sport.
Right. Okay.
Followed, and then anyways, started my own business at 20 years old.
Wow.
And then I've switched industries per se a little bit.
Yeah.
And the last 2.5 years, I've been installing telecommunication infrastructure systems.
Right.
You know, something I always wanted to do. I always saw myself doing that.
Is it a new industry here in Utah, or has it been established for a little while?
It's been established for a while. So the primary method of installation is horizontal directional drilling.
Right.
Those have become more popular over the last 20 years.
Right.
They're newer to me. Very great way to install utilities with established communities because we're not disrupting yards.
Well, obviously it's a lot easier in newer suburbs where nothing's built yet, but you've got to start putting things into existing infrastructure, which is a bit more tricky. Like I mean, you've been running your business now in this industry for a couple of years. You've gone from leaps to bounds. And it's not for anything else, but once somebody told me dumb luck and hard work, is that right?
Yeah.
Like that.
I've really taken advice and tried to listen to my superiors and seniors, and I feel I've done a good job of that. And when people have told me their mistakes, I've really kind of taken them to heart and not tried to make them on my own. And staying financially very stable and not getting ahead of myself.
No.
The work leading up to what I'm doing now, I think, built me a great platform. Being a general contractor, I learned a lot of different
aspects of the business.
Correct.
To the industry.
Yep, and I was never afraid to take on a new project. In fact, I liked those. They would give me excitement. I loved trying to figure them out, but it made me a very well-rounded, still general contractor. We specialize in something now, but it's given me a very broad.
But I mean, this is like I said, you're in your prime. I mean, I used to be like him. You know, when we were younger, we were a bit more of a bit of a gun and go getter and whatever else. And you just never tired. You know, you just kept going. But you're a hardworking man. You created a business. You've created employment for a lot of people. And you know, I think it's what I'm trying to sort of tell the rest of the world is that America is no different to any other country in the sense that people are trying to work hard to make their way through life and to get the best they can out of of what life's opportunities are. And you know, I look at somebody like I'm rather inspired because you know you've done a lot in a short time, especially with this new business, and it's you're a hard worker. You start early, you finish late. It's physical work. I mean, do you keep fit? Do you play sport? Do you go to the gym, or is it just your work that keeps you fit?
It's mostly work. When I've had years of less stress, my business is more or less running itself, or I'm not needed 10 or 12 hours a day.
Right, okay.
I do enjoy exercising. I've done a couple triathlons.
Oh, right, is that right? Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no excuse there. I should. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, we can dispel that myth that, you know, all Americans are overweight and lazy and, you know, the diet's not great. Well, have a look at this guy. Yeah? Okay. But, you know, I mean, I see a lot of fit people here, and I'm actually quite impressed. And it's completely sort of, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, what they promote, you know, through the media and so forth, yeah, they focus on one bit, but there's a lot of other people around it as well. Mate, your sport, what you mentioned, probably riding a sport?
My favorite sport, bar none, is motocross.
Oh, okay.
Correct,
okay.
yeah. So I raced from 4 to 6 years old. Took a hiatus, but still camping. We'd take our motorcycles
Right.
with my family, and then started racing again when I was 15. Did that till I was 20. Football, soccer, I rarely watch those or follow those two. Right. Hardly any extent, but I know pretty much everything going on in the motocross.
Motocross is a big sport, and it's all around the world. I mean, I have some friends down in Australia that you know, do it. I have some friends in Europe, Denmark, that are big on motocross as well. So yeah, it's across the board in a big way. And then of course those Red Bull, you know, sort of. I don't really know what you call them. I think they're
you put on these special events, right?
Yes, those special sports where they do all the, you know, with the
Rampage comes up. I think is one of them.
Is that one of them?
Red Bull Rampage.
Yeah, where they do all those stunts and jumps and everything else. And mate, that's some pretty ballsy stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Have you ever done jumps and all that sort of stuff, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So locally, I did it professionally.
Oh wow! Okay.
We're working towards, so you do X amount of AMA sanctioned events,
yeah.
American Motorcycle Association sanctioned events. You have to place, you know, top 10 or so,
right?
And you get so many points, and then those points accumulate. I believe it. When we were going for it, it was 75, and it's based on how you finish. So once you accumulate so many points, you have your pro license. There's other ways where you can get like an endorsement through a team or something like that.
So there's actually money in it.
Yeah, not at really the level.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We won like $1,500 one day, and I was 19 or 20, and I was so excited. You know, but if you put everything aside,
yeah, getting
there and you know. Yeah. The practice days before that, you know, I didn't make nothing, but I felt pretty cool.
That's the whole idea. I mean, you know, it's what you get out of it, right?
Yeah.
And the whole thing. Well, but I mean, okay, I I mean, I've been in America for about I've been to America a few times, but this time I've been here for about 4.5 months, whatever. And the thing is, I mean, I'm always on the lookout, whether I'm driving the I-15 or whatever it may be, or even in supermarkets or shopping malls, whatever you call it around here. My eyes are peeled, going like, I know that Post Malone comes here a lot. Let's look up for Post Malone. Or have you ever seen any celebrities, in your time?
I haven't.
No, you've not met anybody or seen anybody just randomly.
Honestly, I haven't.
No,
I don't look for them.
Yeah.
But I haven't.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if I've ever met anybody. Yeah. Well,
my wife, my kids, they love Post Malone.
Oh, they do?
And my wife's like, oh, he was here.
Okay, so
you're going to chase him down or
what? No, I've never met any celebs. I mean, apart from maybe my brother who thinks he is a celeb, but he's not. Yeah. No, okay. So just stepping back into the business field again. I mean, it must be quite sort of fulfilling, quite satisfying to know that you are creating employment for other people. Through your business, and they obviously have their families and so forth, and they're supporting them and trying to make their way through life. Yeah. I think that's I think that anybody that goes out on a limb and starts that business, it carries all that sort of risk, I guess, and then provides. You're only going to be as good as the people that work for you. Any business is going to do that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's reciprocated by obviously, hopefully, long-term employment. Yeah. I mean, and you're not quite 40 yet or anything like that, but and you're already doing that. I mean, it must be a good thing. Yeah. And you've got a young family of your own, and you're making your way through that. What do you see the future of the United States for your? Is it three little ones?
Correct. Yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
I'll touch on the employment thing a little more. The way I look at it is everyone that works for me, except for one of them, has a family. And I take great responsibility that there's probably 30 people under my umbrella as far as mouths to feed, living under, and sometimes I think about that, and that puts some
pressure on you?
Yeah, because everything revolves around, me making sure everything is moving all the time. But I'm also grateful that the people working for me trust me in that aspect, and I never want to be in a spot where they would question that,
No, I get it.
As far as future for America and my kids, we're just at a weird point where we're divided more than ever. We're just getting pulled in two completely
different ways,
directions. Yeah, whether you have your extremist left and you're right.
Yeah, they're always scary.
Yeah. Either way you go, in my opinion.
On either end, absolutely.
Yeah.
Too much of that and too much of the other. Yeah, hey guys. Firstly, big apologies for how that video finished up. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties that, cut off the end there. But good news is that we got the majority of it. And secondly, a big thank you to Riley for being part of our show. Geez, nice guy. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And just a big thank you to Riley. And hey, look, guys, we'll catch you on the next show. Won't be too long, hopefully, before I get another little interview up. And I hope you're enjoying the program. All right, guys, take care. Take it easy out there. All right, see you soon on Rock Talk America.